Welcome to Discover Inclusion's training for parents and guardians on social stories. This video will explain what a social story is and how they can be used to help your child. Please note, I'm not a medical professional. All information provided is from research and my own experiences working with children with special educational needs. A social story is about creating a link through images to real-life situations. They're most commonly used to explore negative behaviour and show alternative options, used to show what is going to happen through images, or to teach expression and emotion. By using a story or set of images, a child can prepare for what is going to happen or reflect on what has happened and how they might want to act differently in the future. They can also be used to teach a child something. They are a simple way of explaining things. This is an example of a social story being used to explain why biting is a negative behaviour. Sometimes children get angry, sometimes children feel cross. When I feel like this, I might try to bite myself. I might try to bite someone else. Biting myself hurts me. Biting others hurts them. When people are hurt, they feel sad. Biting on my chewy tube is good. This is okay. When I bite on my chewy tube, I can feel proud and happy. Chewy tubes are okay. The social story is made for a younger child and uses simple sentences and images to explain what's happening. The language does not blame the child, but explains the actions and its consequences. Then the feelings that come with those consequences for both the child and the people around them. The story then offers another option for how the child could act instead of the negative action. In this case, what they could do instead of biting themselves or another person. And finally, it gives positive feedback for the child, showing the positive emotions if they follow through with the alternative action. This is an example of a social story being used to teach a new skill, how to use the toilet. The story is split into small steps that are achievable, such as sit on the toilet. Each stage has a clear visual to aid with the child's understanding and a simple instruction for the adult to read. Social stories for learning a new skill may also include a positive affirmation on completion of the task. Social stories for a new skill should be kept in the location of the skill, in this example, the bathroom. You may want to guide your child through the story as they complete the activity. Then, when you don't have the story to hand, you can replicate your usual routine to help your child without the visual. The second social story is an example for an older child going on a day trip to a new location, in this case the Sky Garden in London. It includes lots of photos of the location and the places that the child will see on the way. In this case, a trip charter was created between the adult and child so they could agree on their boundaries or rules for the trip. There are screenshots of the map and the timings for the journey, as well as a list of what is going to be needed on the trip. This is to reduce the anxiety and help the child take responsibility for their own belongings. Each part of the trip includes a description of what the child will be doing and any other information they might need to know. When a social story is used to look at negative behaviour, it should be read to the child and explored with them. After reading, they can think of a time they felt as the story showed, or they can think of an alternative action instead of the negative one. It should then be read with them each time after they have done that negative action. In the example, this is biting. So each time the child bites themselves or another person, and they have had a chance to calm down and regulate their emotions, they should share the social story with a trusted adult. The story can also be used to remind a child, if they are beginning to become dysregulated, of the options they have. A social story can also be used to teach a child new things, such as learning to toilet train or what to do when they're feeling worried or anxious. When the social story is used to explain what is going to happen, such as before going on a school trip, the child should read the story along with an adult multiple times before going. This may include when packing a bag, looking at the location on Google, or reading a book about someone that's been to that place before. Depending on the age or understanding of a child, you may choose different activities to engage them in the story. Thank you for watching this video about social stories. Hopefully you now understand what a social story is and how to use them. Using the information you have learned, you should be able to create your own social stories or work with professionals close to your child to create social stories. If you have any questions, then send them in an email whenever you have the chance.